Real nice and clear, too. was trying to figure out what they were bottling. I could not figure it out. it, I'm not sure. And so this came from filmmaker Craig Baldwin. It was a friend of his who shot that footage in 1990. But that's all we have as far as specifically like what it is. So we might have to go back and rewatch. In the meantime, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Hi, Perry Como.
The Perry Como Show, all the powers on TV. Brought to you by Chesterfield. Made by Leggett & Myers, the first major tobacco company to give you a complete line of quality cigarettes.
Hi, the servicemen. Hello. Welcome to the Como Show. Chester sends it all your way, so try us Chesterfield today. Chesterfield, best for you. Chesterfield, mile or two.
Regular king size either way. Change to Chesterfield today. And now here's our star, Perry Como.
Hi everyone, this is Como and Company again for beautiful Chesterfield. I just want you to know we're very happy tonight because our show was chosen to be shown to our fellows overseas. Fellows, if you have any requests, just have you send them to us and we'll get to them as quickly as possible. Right now we'd like to get to a request we had from our people here very quickly. While we're doing it, I'd like to sort of get cleaned up, maybe a haircut and shave. She has the form of a goddess and the face dressed like a saint. She has a smile shyly modest,
But you look in them eyes and you know that she ain't. Put the devil in inside. Put the devil in inside.
who put the flaw in her angel's disguise.
Put the devil inside. She always talks so nice. She's as sweet as sugar cane.
And yet, my friend, please believe me, when I look in them eyes, I quiver and shake. Put the devil inside. Put the devil inside. Who put the flaw in her angel's disguise?
Put the devil inside. What the devil? 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 Put the devil inside.
Who could have done it?
Who could have done it?
Oh, who could have done it?
Who could have done it?
Who could have done it?
Who could have done it? Who could have done this thing?
She has my heart dancing madly like a puppet on a string. And yet I'd quite be gladly if she'd only tell me this one little thing.
Put the devil inside. Put the devil inside.
Oh, put the devil in Evelyn's eye.
Put the devil inside. On the level, who put the devil in Evelyn's big blue eye?
Here's a scene that's taking place at your dealers, at cigarette dealers coast to coast. That's right, smokers by the thousands are now changing to Chesterfield. Friends, you join them today and then you'll be smoking the only cigarette that gives you proof of low nicotine, highest quality. And I want you to know that is a matter of record. And so is this fact. As I've been telling you, Chesterfield is the only cigarette with this proven record with smokers. No adverse effects to the nose, throat, and sinuses from smoking Chesterfields. Good reasons for you to change to Chesterfield? Ah, you bet. So ask for Chesterfield, regular or king size. Best for you.
You saw me crying in the chapel. The tears I shed were tears of joy. I know the meaning of contentment. Now I'm happy with the Lord. Just a plain and simple chapel where humble people go to pray. I pray the Lord that I'll grow stronger as I live from day to day. I've searched and searched, but I couldn't find no way on earth to gain peace of mind. Now I'm happy in the chapel where people are of one accord. We gather in the chapel just to sing and praise the Lord. Thank you very much. And now here is Mitchell Ayers and the Chesterfield Orchestra and a wonderful thing they do with a new melody called Under Paris Skies. Mitchell, chubby boy.
Say, friend, what could be better on a nice fall day than to hop in the car and take off. You ready? What we have here is a little picture for you. Picture of a girl, and they're leaving. They sure are. They haven't forgotten anything, though. They've got plenty of those milder Chesterfields, really mild and really satisfying. They're all set, and there they go. And friends, wherever you go, whatever you do, be sure you take along plenty of those milder Chesterfields.
Midnight, you heavy laden, it's midnight. Come on and trade in your old dreams for new, your new dreams for old. I know where they're bought, and I know where they're sold. Midnight, you've got to get there at midnight, and you'll be met there by others like you, brothers as blue, smiling in the street of dreams. Love laughs at a king. Kings don't mean a thing on the street of dreams. Dreams broken in two can be made like new on the street of dreams. Gold, silver, and gold, all you can hold is in the moonbeams. Poor, no one is poor, as long as love is sure on the street of dreams. Gold, silver, and gold, all you can hold is in the moonbeams. Poor, no one is poor, long as love is sure on the street of dreams. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed our show. If you have, don't forget those Chesterfields. Good night, all. Good night.
Buy new Fatima, the smooth smoke, with Fatima tips of perfect cork, king size for longer filtering, and Fatima quality for a much better flavor and aroma. Fatima is made and guaranteed by the makers of Chesterfield, Liggett and Myers Tobacco Company. This is the CBS television network.
Fatima Bren cigarettes with the cork tip. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We have been showing different foreign language films that we've gotten from different places. We showed the entire series of Tout le Band. We did some of the Communiqué de Francais series. We did some German ones. This one is Italian that we got from the Oregon Archive. This is Panorama Italiano. Enjoy.
Benvenuti amici anche a questa edizione di Panorama Italiano. A New York si sono conclusi i lavori di un importante convegno organizzato dal Seventies, Fondazione Italiana di Studi e Investimenti Sociali, sul tema Situazione e prospettive delle emigrazioni italiana in Nord America. Ecco un nostro servizio sul convegno con la collaborazione del nostro corrispondente Sergio Telmon.
Metà novembre, firma a Toronto da parte di Andreotti e Trudeau dell'accordo sociale per gli emigrati italiani. Metà dicembre a Washington, ratifica da parte del Congresso americano dell'analogo accordo sociale firmato 4 anni fa dall'Italia. 2 tappe importanti. La seconda ha coinciso con un convegno promosso dal Censis e tenuto qui a New York dai rappresentanti delle 2 grandi comunità italiane degli Stati Uniti e del Canada, insieme con una cinquantina di parlamentari, politici, sindacalisti, funzionari di Roma, capeggiati dal sottosegretario per l'emigrazione Franco Foschi. Senso, scopo, risultato del convegno, ecco cosa ci ha detto l'onorevole Foschi.
Da oltre 30 anni non si ricorda.
A convegno chiuso vi sintetizziamo quello che ha detto l'onorevole Foschi. Grazie anche agli accurati rapporti del Censis si deve rilevare che una emigrazione di stabilimento così imponente come quella italiana verso gli Stati Uniti, da dove solo il 10% dei rimpatri contro oltre il 70% che si verifica in Europa, ha caratteri che la differenziano nettamente da quella europea.
Di carattere definitivo, i ritorni sono molto modesti.
Nel corso dell'intervista il sottosegretario Foschi ricorda che grazie agli accordi con il Canada gli emigrati italiani godono ormai di tutte le assicurazioni sociali e che negli Stati Uniti si sta per ottenere la ratifica del Congresso per un analogo accordo. Sul problema del voto e della doppia cittadinanza, Foschi ha detto che la questione è all'esame del Parlamento italiano.
Il ricollegamento con il nostro paese, con la realtà di origine.
Per molti di quelli che mangiano tutti i giorni quello che vogliano, è difficile immaginare che la maggior parte dell'umanità soffre letteralmente la fame. Per affrontare questo problema con strumenti più efficaci, la Conferenza mondiale sull'alimentazione, convocata a Roma dalle Nazioni Unite 2 anni fa, decise di costituire un fondo per lo sviluppo dell'agricoltura.
Si è tenuta a Roma la prima riunione del Consiglio dei governatori del Fondo internazionale di sviluppo agricolo, presieduta dall'ambasciatore Abdel Mushin al-Sudeari dell'Arabia Saudita. Alla riunione, svoltasi alla presenza del Presidente della Repubblica Giovanni Leone, hanno partecipato ministri e delegati dei 91 paesi fondatori. Gli Stati Uniti, l'Iran e l'Arabia Saudita sono finora i maggiori contribuenti del fondo, che avrà sede a Roma. Questa nuova organizzazione, che affiancherà la FAO, è dotata di $1 miliardo. Sembra una cifra astronomica, eppure è una goccia in confronto ai $300 miliardi che si spendono ogni anno per gli armamenti. Anche il Ministro per i Beni Culturali e la Ricerca Scientifica, Mario Pedini, parlando a nome del governo italiano, ha assicurato che l'Italia darà un deciso contributo all'iniziativa. Roma, via dei Giubonari, nel cuore del centro storico. Qui c'è un avamposto dell'UNICEF per la raccolta dei contributi destinati alla sopravvivenza dei bambini nei paesi di tutto il mondo colpiti dalla fame e da altre calamità. Questo chiosco dell'UNICEF è il luogo dell'appuntamento. Infatti, in occasione del Natale, è giunto a Roma un gruppo di bambini in rappresentanza di una scuola dell'Aquila, costituita di alunni figli di emigrati italiani. I bambini erano attesi da una delegazione di alunni delle scuole romane in compagnia del giovane mago Tony Binarelli. Quindi i bambini hanno consegnato al segretario generale dell'UNICEF, Arnoldo Farina, i loro doni, oggetti e disegni destinati a tramutarsi in aiuti all'infanzia del terzo mondo. A Tony Binarelli abbiamo chiesto cosa facesse tra i bambini dell'UNICEF ed egli ci ha risposto che, essendo un mago, deve fare una cosa strana per attrarre l'attenzione del pubblico sugli scopi dell'UNICEF. Perciò il 6 gennaio avrebbe dovuto attraversare Roma pilotando un'automobile bendato.
Strana per forza, ovviamente, e perché penso che abbastanza strana sia e quindi richiami l'attenzione delle altre persone su questa manifestazione UNICEF.
Ad Arnoldo Farina, segretario generale della sezione italiana dell'UNICEF, abbiamo domandato qual è il significato di questo incontro ed egli ci ha risposto.
Qual è il significato di questo incontro? Ma direi che ha un valore altissimo, perché sono dei figli degli emigranti che hanno voluto partecipare ad un'iniziativa, ad una strada di Roma per l'UNICEF, cioè per i 900 milioni di bambini dei paesi del terzo mondo che soffrono fame, sete e malattie. Sappiamo purtroppo che ci sono delle statistiche agghiaccianti, 40 bambini che muoiono ogni 60 secondi per denutrizione. È una cifra che tocca tutti noi, che tocca soprattutto il nostro paese, che ci vede in prima linea in questa grande lotta contro questa grande ingiustizia che c'è nel mondo. E dei figlioli di emigranti sono venuti a Roma dall'Aquila e ci hanno portato dei disegni da vendere appunto in via dei Giuponari per l'UNICEF. Ed è un messaggio che lanciano a tutti i loro genitori in tutto il mondo. Aiutate anche voi il nostro paese a dimostrare ai 900 milioni di bambini che l'Italia è il paese civile di sempre. Aiutateci e scriveteci UNICEF, via Sforza 14, Roma, Italia. Grazie.
Siamo i bambini delle scuole elementari di Paliano, un paese che si trova in provincia di Frosinone. Mandaci se puoi quei begli uccelli dalle penne rosa che vivono laggiù. Così comincia la lettera inviata al presidente cubano Fidel Castro da un gruppo di scolari circa 2 anni fa. E i fenicotteri, gli uccelli dalle penne rarissime che desideravano quei ragazzi, sono arrivati in volo da Cuba proprio alla vigilia di Natale, con incredibile gioia degli scolari di Paliano, anche se i loro nuovi amici erano ancora piccolini, e tutti rosa lo diventeranno solo tra qualche mese, quando saranno adulti. Per il momento il loro problema è sopravvivere. Per questo i ragazzi di Paliano li hanno donati a un parco nazionale, la Selva, un piccolo paradiso con tanti laghetti a pochi chilometri dalla loro scuola vicino Fiuggi, dove vivono in completa libertà stupendi ibù, germani reali, pellicani, cigni neri e bianchi, bianchi e blu, struzzi d'America e d'Africa. Ed eccoli anche 2 fenicotteri già adulti, coi colori rosa intenso. Così diventeranno anche i piccoli giunti da Cuba. Ecco una rarità, il volo ad ali spiegate di un cigno bianco, quasi un saluto ai nuovi venuti. Qui c'è la maestra della scuola elementare di Paliano, anche lei una protagonista di questo accordo Italia-Cuba. La maestra racconta che i bambini furono particolarmente sensibilizzati dal problema di questo parco, quindi fecero delle ricerche sui libri, furono colpiti da questi uccelli e li chiesero. Dopo 2 anni finalmente questo sogno si è avverato.
Finalmente questo sogno si è avverato.
La lettera scritta dai bambini diceva: caro Fidel Castro, abbiamo pensato alla possibilità di mettere dei fenicotteri rosa e dei pappagallini che in Italia non esistono. Li chiediamo a voi cubani perché sappiamo che vivono nella vostra bella isola. Per ricambiare la cortesia, i bambini di Paliano hanno già pronti alcuni asinelli della Sardegna da inviare a Cuba, un dono che non ha nulla da invidiare per bellezza e rarità ai fenicotteri delle lontane isole dei Caraibi. Quando alle soglie dell'autunno il grande ciclismo chiude la stagione, un altro ciclismo più povero e oscuro comincia la propria. È il ciclocross. Ciclocross vuol dire fatica nel senso più vero e più crudo, sfangare nei cambi, guardare i torrenti, arrampicarsi con la bicicletta in spalla lungo le rive e le scalinate per rimbalzare sulla sella ogni qualvolta il sentiero lo consente, risponde alle regole di un esercizio atletico che i corridori più bravi hanno elevato al livello di specializzazione. Il ciclocross è acrobazia di gambe e di fiato. Per il corridore che affronta l'avventura lungo i sentieri di campagna, nella peripezia della pioggia e della neve, anche la pianura può diventare un precipizio. Il fango, per chi cade, è più cruento dell'asfalto, impiomba le ali. Nato francese, il ciclocross è diventato italiano per merito di Renato Longo. In 15 anni di carriera, questo ex garzone di panetteria è riuscito a conquistare 5 titoli mondiali e 12 campionati italiani. Un Coppi dei Prati. Longo, con le sue imprese, ha conferito dignità atletica, valore di saggio al ciclocross. Cresciuto tra le nebbie bianche della Lombardia, ha battuto il sentiero ad eredi più illustri di lui come Gimondi, Bitossi e Fleming, ma forse meno inclini alle esigenze di un mestiere che per essere vero deve essere esclusivo. Ne dà prova Bagnier, valdostano campione d'Italia, ciclocrossista e professore di francese, un dilettante che accetta la parte rifiutando per adesso di confondersi con professionisti più esosi e forse meno bravi. Il ciclocross, quello maggiormente spoglio, costa molto e paga poco. Veste di lana morbida, indossa scarpette che ricopiano quelle dei calciatori, usa unguenti e rivulsivi contro il freddo, adopera biciclette di particolare lega, robuste e leggere, in grado di resistere alle sollecitazioni più gravi, dotate di tubolari particolarmente adatti a mordere il fango. I praticanti di anno in anno si moltiplicano, alimentano la propaganda di un ciclismo da fakiri che recita ogni domenica tra i campi una singolare e disperata poesia, il trionfo della fatica.
Anche questo numero di Panorama Italiano è terminato. Pino D'Amore e Rosanna Vaudetti vi ringraziano per l'ascolto e vi danno appuntamento per il prossimo numero.
Donation via the Super Thanks button. It's a great way to support us. Science in the 70s.
In days of old, when knights were bold, as science was invented, the earth was flat, and that was that, with no man discontented.
In a cornfield in Illinois, in the mountains of Puerto Rico, in the twilight of the Arctic, from the eye of a hurricane to the depths of the sea, an army of explorers probe and search. Progress and technology pervade our lives, but questioned as never before.
Science today is a $30 billion industry, exploring and touching on every aspect of our lives. In the next hour, we will scan this panorama: man and society, the world and its resources, industry and technology. Some of the ways that science touches our lives.
Enthusiasm for our human heart transplantation has faded appreciably, and rightfully so. In my judgment, it's an experimental operation, and the volume of patients who have benefited is precious few. But the revascularization surgery is an entirely different thing. A great number of people can be helped. The biggest problem we have, unfortunately, is the training of the people and the hospitals where this work can be done. Because at the present time, many thousands of people are deserving candidates for this form of surgery.
We are watching open heart surgery. Difficult and critical, but no longer an experiment. In the next few years, thousands of lives will be saved by this one operation alone. Perhaps yours is one. The operation goes like this.
A person's heart is a powerful muscle that pumps day and night. Without oxygen, it wouldn't last more than a few seconds. It gets this oxygen from two main coronary arteries, the right and the left, each feeding its appropriate portion of the heart. If anything happens to block the required blood flow, the patient is in real trouble. In this particular patient, the coronary artery has gradually become plugged until his entire life depends on this tiny passageway. If anything happens to block this, a small clot, a bit of cholesterol, or further thickening of the wall, the patient first begets pain and then literally a passport to heaven. There are hundreds of thousands of patients like this, in whom their life literally hangs on a tiny thread. Our job is to take a piece of the patient's own vein and actually attach it so that he has a bypass or a new pathway to furnish the damaged area. When the vein is first removed, it actually looks about the size of a piece of macaroni and about the same consistency. We begin by sewing it carefully to an incision in the diseased coronary artery beyond the point of obstruction.
Bypass surgery is only one example of the sophistication of modern medicine. All around are new tools, without which this would be impossible. The heart-lung machine. A generation ago, there were not the plastics, the pumps, the detailed understanding of blood physiology. An oscilloscope, watching the patient's heart beat moment by moment. Only one generation ago, the cathode ray tube was new. There was no solid-state electronics, no understanding of the electrical waves that maintain the heart's rhythm. Modern anesthetic techniques, the titanium scalpel, all developed within the last generation. Before surgery is possible, it is necessary to know exactly the nature and location of the problem. Dye is injected through a tube directly into the heart and its blood vessels so that we can make X-ray motion pictures of the coronary artery. The machine which makes this possible is brand new, built around an image intensifier, which was developed originally for a gun sight. Without it, and the elaborate electronics and photographic hardware, the procedure would be impossible. Yet, none of this was available a generation ago.
The medical skill which saved the life of this tennis player reflects an intricate fabric of research and development. Again and again, the knowledge and skills developed in one field are transferred to a distant and seemingly unrelated problem.
Ultimately, the understanding which results in a new drug or a new treatment is likely to begin in one of the many laboratories devoted to the study of cellular chemistry and physiological processes. Here, in a quiet, meditative atmosphere, knowledge accumulates bit by bit, like pieces in a giant puzzle. Eventually, this information may fit together to solve the questions of cancer and viruses. But in the meantime, there is a great deal more to learn. In roughly one generation, we have moved close to explaining the origin of life itself. And along the way, we continue to solve other seemingly unrelated problems.
We were attempting to make an organic chemical, won't mean anything to you, but its name is cytosine. And we thought we'd made it for a long while, but it just didn't work out quite right. And after several months of work, we realized that what we had was not the chemical we were looking for, cytosine, but a very closely related molecule called cytosine arabinoside. And it turns out that cytosine arabinoside is one of the more promising drugs used in the treatment of human leukemia. We went ahead and developed this synthesis to the point of being able to make cytosine arabinoside cheaply in large amounts. And I remember that on one occasion we called the people at NIH and they said they would like some cytosine arabinoside. And we said, how much would you like? And they said, how much can you give us? And we said, well, we could let you have 40 grams. And there was a sort of gasp, which we didn't understand. And then we discovered that until a few weeks previously, that would be more than the world's supply.
In the same way that this fundamental research solved a distant medical problem, bits of information are fitted together in a grand mosaic. While one group studies the origin of life and the development of the cell, other scientists are learning the rules which bring cells together. Here is a microscopic field covered with thousands of individual one-celled amoeba. Minute quantities of a powerful natural attractant are able to call the cells together, and on its signal, the cells gather and combine to form a single tiny organism made up of thousands of amoeba, suddenly cooperating and specializing to form a stalk and a head. Clearly, if we understood why this behavior occurs, what brings the cells together and changes their behavior, we would have a greater insight into the development of the human embryo and the development of genetic aberrations. Ultimately, the key to such questions, however, must lie at a much smaller submolecular level. We know now that many biological phenomena originate on this incredibly small scale, where the participants are atoms and the battlefields measure in billionths of inches. We now have extremely powerful microscopes, and we are able to see large molecules with ease. But we need to reach still farther in order to see individual atoms.
What we are trying to do here is to develop new kinds of microscopes, new kinds of electron microscopes, to get even higher magnifications, to see even smaller and smaller objects, with the result that we have been able to see, for example, single atoms. We can see very easily the DNA, the genetic material. It has turned out to be, and I hope will continue to be, a very powerful instrument.
We have seen for the first time the hazy image of single atoms. The trail from such investigation to a new drug or a new treatment is long and tortuous, but it is there. We take for granted thousands of new drugs, and yet most of this technology, most of this understanding has been developed within 1 or 2 generations, a symptom of the tempo of science today. It is not enough to simply save lives unless we're concerned with the quality of life. We see in our own society an incongruity of affluence and despair. Thus, more and more scientists turn toward questions of human concern like urban planning and mental health. These are new sciences groping with elusive questions. But some of the answers are provocative. Consider, for example, the mounting evidence of ways in which animals behave like people and people behave like animals. Many of our social patterns and emotions of hostility, affection, and fear are at least partly inherited from our 4-legged ancestors.
We are in the laboratory of Dr. Harold Harlow, who demonstrated some years ago the importance of physical contact to baby monkeys. Babies that can cling to a soft, cuddly mother substitute grow to be curious and confident. Now, ingenious experiments have extended this knowledge. These youngsters are able to move from cage to cage, playing and fighting, both with each other and a community of adults. But their parents are unable to follow them and interfere with their exploration and play. Such youngsters are not only more curious, but actually prove to be more intelligent. Like human beings, monkeys thrive in an atmosphere of reassurance and social interaction. Without this, like humans, they become psychotic, detached, lost, and terrified. Like a tiny patient in a mental institution. We can cure this in monkeys through systematic treatment. These playful and curious monkeys were psychotic only a short time ago.
Can these experiences be extrapolated to human beings? We don't know. We continue to explore, searching for the occasional period when small understandings assemble to provide a new and broader insight.
When the human race goes out, this should be made clear. It goes out of its own volition. We're writing our own ticket. And ecological concerns are of major importance, particularly if we consider that we're living in this compound ecology. What happens 50 years from now, or even 25 years from now, is our responsibility, and we cannot pass it off on say that it's up to the generation 25 or 50 years from now to solve its own problems, because they will not have the time base available. We do.
We have learned so much within our lifetime. In a single generation, we have discovered why mountains, why seas, why earthquakes and volcanoes, as we begin to understand the forces that are literally moving continents. Like a suit of armor, the Earth is covered with giant plates, a floating, broken crust that drifts in response to immense forces. The force is so great that as they move, whole continents are torn and buckled and wrenched apart with a vehemence and anger that only natural forces possess. As it happens, the city of San Francisco sits proud and beautiful, cable cars and all, on a fragile tip of a granite ledge which should be moving, but now is locked in place. And a few hundred miles away sits a sprawling metropolis perched calmly and securely on an entirely different plate, drifting slowly but inexorably northward. Every year, Los Angeles creeps closer, and the strain builds up. The importance of this discovery has brought a flurry of attention. Proposals to measure and predict the occurrence of earthquakes, perhaps even to release the energy in a series of insignificant rumbles rather than a major disaster. But we need to know more.
A 1,000 miles away, deep in the tunnel of an abandoned Colorado gold mine, the Bureau of Standards has built the world's most sensitive detector. to measure earthquakes and even the strain in the earth itself. So sensitive is this device that it can measure the changing warp of the earth as it is pulled by the sun and the moon. So sensitive, in fact, that it might prove possible to detect waves of gravitation from stars billions on billions of miles away. When we face the energy of natural forces, our greatest efforts are of little avail. Each year in the United States, hail alone causes $1/3 of $1 billion in crop damage. Taking temperature and air pressure measurements, even photographing the vapor particles in clouds, scientists fly gliders and ride the storms to learn more about the mechanisms. At the same time, radar watches the storm cloud. Laser beams measure wind speed, and airplanes drop small radio transmitters, which broadcast cloud conditions as they float through the storm on tiny parachutes. It is only in our lifetime that we have developed the tools to see and measure such grand movements and forces, a luxurious flow of new information. A single stationary satellite can see 1/4 of the globe. Before long, there will be 5, more than enough to cover and provide a grand television picture of the storms about us. The effect on our lives may be striking.
In Wisconsin, in the hay crop, it's necessary to know whether or not one should have, one can cut his hay. The farmer needs about 3 days of no rain, or maybe 2 days of bright sunshine, so that his crop can cure. So if one could provide weather information so that he could cut the crop at near the optimum time and not have it rained upon, then the actual food value in the hay crop is much higher. Well, it turns out that the value of this to the farmers of Wisconsin could be as much as $53 million annually for this single crop.
Again and again, the combination of understanding and technology have led to the solution of serious problems. So often that we may be tempted to believe that enough science can solve anything.
We live in a land of golden affluence. Our scientists have developed hybrid grains, pest and disease controls, food machinery of every description. We in this country consume 44% of the world's coal, almost 2/3 of its natural gas, 1/3 of its petroleum. Can the world truly be brought to our level of affluence and consumption? Is there enough to go around? Some scientists say not.
The filling up of the world's space begins to produce pressures that eventually must suppress the process of growth, the growth of population and the growth of industrialization. Almost no one argues that this rate of exponential growth can go on forever. It's obviously an impossibility. The debate now, I think, is settled down to a question of which forces will stop the growth, and when, and under what circumstances, and what will happen after the growth stops.
Statements like this have brought a storm of angry rebuttal. But while the facts are in debate, the problem is real. We depend more and more heavily on the shiploads of imported oil. And while some scientists search for ever greater sources of energy, others are concerned lest our affluence and consumption destroy the environment we live in. The balance between such conflicting goals is difficult at best. For example, we have already upset the ecology of the Great Lakes on a grand scale, unwittingly adding waste and pollution until the scientist is hard-pressed to devise a way to restore the balance. One approach to this problem has involved the introduction of game fish, but we know far too little of their behavior patterns.
For the tag. Okay, put it in the
So
puncher.
teams
Okay,
from the
here,
University
I
of
got it.
Wisconsin
Okay, here it is.
implant sonic transmitters in game fish so that we can follow them and learn the secrets of their navigation.
Okay, cover it up. Okay, get the Floyd tag. All right, okay, the number is 00599. Okay, male, 55 centimeters.
With a transmitter in its belly, we can follow a fish for miles and correlate its movement with the wind and tides and temperature, and even the taste of the water.
Okay, Pete, cut him loose. There he goes. There he goes. All right, he's taking off that way. Jack, he's taking off. All right, just follow it out. You got him?
Big boat chases little boat, and little boat chases the fish, plotting his path as he runs for protection and threads his way toward home.
Okay, Pete, you want to ring me? Okay, we're right on. Go ahead, take a shot. 139. Okay, she's about 180 degrees. Then take a fix.
Aquarius to the poly 15.
Bit by bit in this way, we are accumulating the knowledge that is necessary to maintain our environment. And yet, time is running out. Consumption and pollution run hand in hand, and hunger will not wait. Meanwhile, in a remote oil-rich kingdom on the Arabian Peninsula, agricultural history is being made that may affect the entire world. The work began a few years ago at the University of Arizona, when a team of plant physiologists applied their knowledge and skills to the problem of desert farming. In the world, there are 2.5 million square miles of desert coastline with little or no fresh water. But in plastic bubble greenhouses like these, salt water can maintain the humidity while only small amounts of fresh water are needed to feed the plants. Now, commercial growers are beginning to take note. What are the yields? For tomatoes, 200 tons per acre. For lettuce, 300 tons per acre. For cucumbers, 450 tons per acre. In this closed environment, it is possible to maintain huge farms growing under natural conditions, free from disease, insects, and the vicissitudes of weather, yet harvested for packaging and shipment in the most efficient manner. The problem is not greatly different in our use of the oceans. The fishing industry is largely confined to areas where life grows by accident, and we have not yet learned to farm the sea. In this sense, we are still hunters, roaming the seas in search of prey. We have bigger nets and faster boats, but we still hunt in the sea much as we did on land thousands of years ago.
World population is on a crisis course. Millions starve despite the Green Revolution. The exhaustion of resources and growing waste threaten the affluence which permits the luxury of scientific speculation. The problem that faces the next generation is clear and present. The solution is not. Science may help by providing knowledge, but it is surely a frail warrior in the face of such massive social problems.
So I guess that was a TV show, because there were commercial breaks. I don't know where it was shown, but there was a kind of an interesting. I need to find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me switch back. So I was like, what is that? So there you go. Science with Jose Ferrer. Thanks for watching today. So tomorrow I'm going to be driving to Charlotte to pick up a video deck and some bookshelves. And so I'm not going to be live, but I will have a show for you pre-recorded. It will be great. But in order to do the pre-recorded show, I'm going to have to stop the Twitch 24/7 thing. So I'll let it run for like an hour after this, but then at some point I'm going to stop it and record my show and then come back. Is that okay? Are we cool with that? Great. Anyways, have a great 4th of July. Celebrate what you feel is great about this country. There's a lot to complain about right now, but there are some things that I still think are great about this country. And I bury my head deep in the United States Information Agency films from the 70s because they portray a country that I love and am striving for. So, good times, celebrating our diversity, celebrating our common goals, what brings us together as a nation. And so on the actual July 4th, I will also not be here because it's Saturday, but I will have a special multi-hour Happy Birthday USA, which will have films about patriotism, about the bicentennial, about being a good citizen, all those things that I love and that are great. So be safe, and we will see you live on Monday. All right, you guys take care. We love you very much. Thanks for supporting us, for hitting the thumbs up and the donations via the Super Thanks button and Patreon and ko-fi.com. Those are all great ways to support us. All right, we're going to start the machine. Here we go. Enjoy.
Ah, coffee beans, still warm from roasting. Stop right there. Now that moment of warm bean flavor is captured for you in new Instant Maxwell House. Taste the coffee with that wonderful warm bean flavor. Get new Instant Maxwell House.